So now I want to teach you one of the ways that we're going to have you lengthen your own spine. So I will have some video examples of me working with other people so you can see how it works when I'm hands-on with someone. And for now, I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself. So let's go back to this pattern. Let's say that this is your pattern, some version of this. Sometimes people are like this, sometimes their hips are coming forward. It's all a different version of the same compression. So we're talking about how we need to get the head, neck, and spine in alignment first for everything else to find its way to its proper place. So this is how I'm going to teach you to do it. I want you to take your hands. You're going to take the 4 fingers on each hand and put them at the base of your spine. So I'm going to turn so you can see that. Okay, so they're at the base of your spine. You're going to take your thumb and bring it underneath your jaw, like underneath your chin here. So I'm going to just turn a few times so you can see what that looks like. So 4 fingers, thumb under the jaw. So let's go back into that pattern. Okay, so if you're here, wherever you are right now, you're going to take your 4 fingers, put them there, bring your thumbs under your jaw, and I want you to lift yourself up. So I'm going to tell you a few instructions of how to do that. So with the 4 fingers there, they are there to lengthen the back of your spine because this compression is pulling us down. It's like sinking us down into gravity. We're slouching. We need to get that length up. We need to get that spine up. So the 4 fingers are going to make sure you get the back of the head up. The reason we have the thumb there is because this is what I don't want. I don't want you to lift and go, okay, so now you're pulling your chin down, you've lifted the back of your head, because we need the head looking forward. We still need this. We don't want to do this, and we don't want to try to over straighten the back of the neck. So you get your 4 fingers, thumb, you lengthen up, keeping the thumb there so that you keep your jaw in the appropriate place. You can still look straight ahead. So I want you to practice this. We're going to be practicing this over and over and over again. It's kind of the first step to find that length. So you may notice a few things. You may notice when you do this that, number 1, you'll feel a stretch. You might feel a stretch in the front of you. You might feel a stretch in the back. You might feel it in both. You will likely start to feel the muscles in your upper back working. So right about here. That's a good thing. They have not been working if you've been here or some version of that. They've been really completely compromised. So when you lengthen up, you should feel all of this. This is a good thing. This will let you know you're on the right track. So you got this, you've got this. You might notice stretching. You might notice that upper back working. You may notice like some stretching of the muscles in the neck and shoulders that have been really tight and compromised. This is also a great place to share in the Facebook group what your experience is. Take pictures of yourself doing it, take a video, and let's get feedback because this is so individual. Everyone has a different pattern, even though there is a general theme to all of these patterns, but we are still our own people. So I want to hear how this is going for you. So when you do this, I want you to get that length, stay there for a moment, take a deep breath, and then drop your hands down and stand here and take a few breaths because that's the other part of this. We can't lift and go, okay, I've got it. Now what do I do? We need to learn how to live there. So when you give yourself that length, drop your arms and breathe. Take a few breaths, look around the room a little bit. We don't want to be holding our head and our jaw in a rigid way. We actually should have a lot of freedom and softening in the jaw. It's another place that we hold a lot of tension. So when we get the length here, I don't want your jaw to be grabbing and lifting up. Think of a soft jaw. Look around. Take a few breaths. I'm always going to remind you to take a few breaths because it's very hard to hold a lot of tension when you're taking some deep breaths. So that's a great thing to do when you're practicing all of this is to make sure you can take a few breaths wherever you are. So let's go over it again. 4 fingers here, thumb goes here, you're in your position, you're where you normally are, and then you lengthen everything up. Okay, so you feel those muscles working in the back, you feel some stretching, you might feel your abdominals engaging here, and then drop your arms and take a few breaths. And we're going to practice that over and over again. But that is the first step to getting length in the spine. And if you will notice one other thing, I'm going to step back a little bit. So if I'm here, look at the rest of my body. Okay, so this is one of those common patterns. If I put my hands here and lengthen up, look what happens to the rest. Did you notice what happens to my lower belly and my back? I'm here, and then the head, the spine, the head goes up and it takes everything with it. Let's say you're here. Same thing. It starts adjusting everything else in the body because the spine, it's like a train car, and the head is the first car and it has to take everything else with it before the rest of it can start moving and lengthening. So we will come back to this, but this is something that we're going to be practicing a lot.